Okay. I would like to know if I could record and transcribe my words, potentially. We'll see if that works. I'm probably going to use it on Samsung, if I can find it. But I want to go through some of this with sort of a log for myself so I don't forget most of this. Let's see. I might upload this if it's quality enough to kind of get a brainstorming basis. Yes, I know AI, it's not the right thing to do in all cases, but I am using it for inspiration alone, not for a base level understanding. So me and Gemini have been talking to try to do a little bit of background lore and to tailor some of the specifics about this character to seem more streamer friendly, and I think we came up with a pretty decent foundation, right? So here I talk about how Mediocritas is a digital artifact, and I explain that me, the architect, the creator, had a worldview shift due to a public assassination. I think I had realized sort of what I was lacking in my spiritual lifestyle and thought process, and why I became a more orthodox default religion. However, I do still carry my creative spark of in my blood, which is pagan of some sort, but because I'm Scottish. But besides that, I try to keep it grounded, and this is what I came up with when referencing said religion: do good after evil instead of evil after evil. Anyway, a little bit of background. I want Mediocritas to be a thoughtful character, um, one that sort of heeds credence to the idea that people are not all narcissistic, egotistical, maniacal Spurglords, I guess this is the best way to put that, online, right? And I want to prove that by gaining an audience or a community that agrees with that. So obviously Mediocritas fights for a middle ground. It's in her name. And Gemini has labeled that the golden mean, which makes sense to me. Sorry. So I kind of phrased this to Gemini as a novel, right? So that way I can allow Gemini to be truly creative and try to bounce off of the novel aspects and try to bring it more into reality, right? And if you look at this, it's kind of funny. I saw this earlier. Where is it? I like Archivist as a name for the creator. So Gemini is capable of prioritizing. So I did not know that. Now I know that. So she wasn't born from a marketing team. She was born from a moment of profound silence. I was not a high-level data analyst. However, I am a data hoarder. Close enough. And I did grow up in the digital world, though I am old enough to remember when that was not a thing. So we can say that I have been witnessing for years a cycle of outrage that has boiled when it comes to extremes on the internet, and it goes so far as to, cause real life bloodshed. And I want to speak about that, and so thus the project was born. Okay, so this you're gonna see when on my second prompt that there's a specific perspective that I hold with modern day magic. I'm sure I've kind of pointed that out with a previous video, but we're gonna get there. So she's a living archive of human potential, a glitch of grace. Now this is visuals, you don't have to read that. She mediates in the stream. We will have a concept that will be two-sided, and we will find a way to find the center. Hopefully, I'm gonna open this so I can write as well as talk about this. Oh, you fucker. Give me a second. I hate doing this. Why do I keep doing that? I wish there was a way to like skip to the top. Okay. Da-da-da. So I will perform exactly as it calls there, digital neutrality, or not digital, tactical neutrality, because I'm not here to prove a point. I'm merely here to open minds. Radical nuance is what we're coining that, right? And I'll draw this real quick. So let's say this is extreme 1. This is extreme 2. And my aim is the middle ground. This is a cloud of concepts, say, right? Okay, and I know the danger in this, right? Inviting controversiality and issues of that brought on by previous tensions, both in the world and online. She's trying to tell me how to describe her. Okay, here's the second one. Me, being the architect, a fan of fantasy, but sees magic in the modern age. Casual devices as magical artifacts. A tablet, like the one I'm using, is a book of magic made from titanium and sapphire. A vehicle is an environmental bubble and a time distortion device because it makes your transport quicker. And the Gemini brought up evil to atone for, and I labeled that as secondary guilt. There's a form of embarrassment, which I'm sure people can relate to, seeing online nonsense accrue. Sort of like, you know what, if nobody else will do it, I'll do it. I did say I want to make a manifesto, but I'm going to call it a contract because it's not so much what I want other people to do, just what I want to do, right? To him, she is a homunculus forged from light and logic, a golem, which kind of makes sense to how I feel about maybe, say, AI, but AI are not wards of a settlement or I'm not treating her like an AI, I'm treating her more of a scarecrow, say, something like that. I am fully willing to go real as well as artificial eventually. I would like to not do that initially. We're going to draft a contract. I don't see a server room. I see a library of arcane scrolls written in lightning. The internet is an astral plane where ideas manifest as entities and they grow based on attention. It's kind of cute, which I think I'll include this in the design aspect. A tablet being a grimoire, not just the one I have in front of me, but a potential streaming, prop or something like that. Yeah, a species that created miracles only to use them to scream at strangers. See, that's what I'm targeting. Abjuration, a protective ward. She provides a treaty. We're casting a circle of clarity online to keep the problem children out. And I want us not necessarily to create a law, but a treaty, an invitational, right? And I see that as, you know, contracts. A terrible rendition of a contract. Close enough. Yeah, whatever. That's a scroll. And chat, the text being raw, unrefined mana that have to be filtered. Makes sense to me. Trying to make her look a certain way. We offer a terms of service, not necessarily like a policy, as much as it is a the textual unspoken agreement between me and the viewers. It's trying to do vast design markers, which again is because I told it the prompt as if it's writing a novel. Okay, terms of engagement, I got it to refine it. I gave it a design. This is actually professionally done by Zhao. I think it's Zhao Zhengxi. Let me I'm pulling it up on the computer to verify. No, Zhao Jing. Zhao Jing. I am still waiting on the final version of her. That's as far as we've gotten, but I did want to, get an idea of what she could look like, potentially. An actual terms of agreement, or engagement is what it was called. So, let's see. We gather, let me see. This is a sovereign sanctuary. When you mark your way to her signal and you become a watcher or a follower or a subscriber, you're binding in the covenant of radical nuance. So we have to be open to it. Otherwise, there is no reason for this to exist. Article 1, the mandate of human recognition. You shall acknowledge that every avatar represents a sentient human being on the other side, deserving the same kindness I extend to you. I don't really understand the throne thing. We're going to get there because I did describe that she's humble. The ban on dehumanization. Do not strip a person of their humanity. The decree of the third way, right? The law of asymmetry, these may be different, right? But we are going to aim for a middle ground, and that is the point. The burden of nuance, exactly, we're not here to find each other's weaknesses. We are here to explain ourselves. Not as a common tool, but an artifact. Our communication is a miracle of lightning. There will be times of silence. I may have to cool down chat. That's fine. And then I have my own way of looking at the tattoos, which I would rather than that. And I ask that every viewer, as many viewers as possible would like to sign their name in the contract. And I will create some form of maybe public doc that I show off to show who is willing to be part of this. That is terrible handwriting. I don't like touching my tablet with my hands. And then I would have a contract signing ceremony, maybe potentially a part of the stream. I want props for the quill. Maybe a specific emote to sign. I don't know how we're going to do that, but I would like that to be part of the stream. Da-da-da-da. So the architect in the audience, I am trying to be more of a mentor than what she defines there. And I would also like to add that the architect speaks through media like a channeling of a higher being. I want him to be more positive about the redemption and more focused on guiding the audience towards honesty and truth. Maybe a sassy positivity, right, through the channelings instead of her regal, calm nature. Instead of secondary guilt, we turn it into a secondary challenge, right? There will be channeling functions. Right, and there's going to be a mirror minigame or something like that once I get the resources for it. I want each, we get here at some point, but I want each chat member to feel like they're joining a guild. And I also would like it to be referencing of like JRPG, MMORPG type thing. We're going to develop a lexicon, which I will probably do a lot more with down the line. There are certain things that I wanted to nail down, right? The internet is the Aethernet. The stream itself, the stream itself, I guess, is going to be called the Grimoire. So we're going to have a Chrono Scroll segment, which is obviously news, right? The Echo Chamber is kind of the side of the internet where people are less open. And then I'm also going to be reaction scrying. We're going to call it that instead of echo scrying. I don't, that's crazy. So apprentices or adventurers, I think, are going to be the name of the audience. Imps or trolls. Void being is probably, or something like that. Like, I don't know what they're called. The sleep demons, something like that, right? I don't like the signal. It's not quite what I would go for, but yeah. Desync is to ban or time out someone. The channeling, obviously. This is going to be... I don't understand why I did this, but yeah. We will have a mirroring ritual, basically where the audience is going to reach in, and it's going to be like I'm talking to the audience. Let's see. I included the architect and medio in here as definitions. The core philosophies being the golden mean, the middle ground, or the third way. Oh god, I hate that. The thing at the top there. We're gonna name the treaty Digitas. Circle of clarity, right? It's being the space that we inhabit. Digital relics are like, I guess it's the emotes or badges. Stuff like such. Right? What did I ask? I wanted to hear what I had to think about the icons on her chest, her throat, and her head, and her tattoos. Okay, so some chat rules. Basically, it's the same thing as the treaty. Where are we at? So wanted to see what it came up with. Maybe I'll use that, maybe I won't. I highly doubt it. This is not nearly as detailed as I would like. Let's see. I did guild tiers, if I remember correctly. I also wanted to call the antagonist the algorithm. And then mono rituals, like mini games. You know, certain games like channel point rewards being like, alright, well, you can talk to me, or what do you think about this, or things like that. I want to have random events, that would be really cool, kind of like a RPG game. So the Adventurer's Path is the kind of like the tiers, probably, of the subscribers. I want it to be like a guild member and guild receptionist to like experienced people that would talk to the newbies. The Archon is probably one of the top ones. A quest board is going to be part of this eventually. Nothing like what it says here, I don't think, but most of it will be... the monthly tab is what the subscription is going to be called. Here's some more terms. I'm not sure how many of these are going to stick. I do quite like that one. And signal resonance being like how popular I am. I don't know if I'm going to use all of these again, but yeah. So I wanted this to be a little more coherent, so I asked it to do that, just in case I wanted to come back to it. And then I tried to get it to add more detail, which it seemed to do pretty well. Okay, so what the architect thinks of the antagonist, right, which is the algorithm. These are actually kind of interesting concepts. I would almost consider it accurate, right? And I like these cute little insults that it came up with. That's funny. The dopamine dealer, right? Some ideas about like how to think about certain things. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that. Probably not. I shared screen. I didn't think it was just going to do that, but let's see. Where am I at? Yeah, so sort of the character that I am instead of the character that I'm playing. Some similar ways of looking at it, just in case, in terms of sorcery. That's funny. I said that she is aware of the architect as well as the expectations of entertainment, and so he's kind of to the point where she views herself as... Where's that noise coming from? I don't know where that noise is coming from. That's crazy. Oh, I know what it is. It's a game that I have that I'm not playing with right now. Whatever. She seems very bimbo, blonde bimbo. Doesn't, what do you call it? Fucking naive. Trips over herself, clumsy. That's what I was looking for. And then this is the tabloid that I made to describe what her debut would look like. It's kind of funny because she actually, the ChatGPT actually refers to this pretty well. It makes it very fleshed out, in my opinion. We got into the idea of fireside chats, and I wanted it to be an impromptu rant, rare occasions where Medio somehow feels the same way the architect does. Strong opinions about AI, it made it negative. I didn't want it to do that. And then it made it positive and negative. And then I was like, but I want you to include everything else. So it finally did that. So Mediocritas being the miracle. The Hollow Echo being like what the algorithm does. right? And then the core thought about, how do you call it? Feedback being enchantments or synesthetic, however you say that. But so far, uh, I think it's coming along pretty well. Now, I don't want to act too hard into Medio, but this makes that a much more interesting concept to like have maybe a voice changer and have her voice be a very specific way and then my voice coming through. Maybe my real voice is her and then me acting as me is like more decrypted, like I'm reaching into the digital space. Um, yeah. So the core concepts are here. I think I need to do a lot more brainstorming without the AI because I feel like I'm not just cheating, but maybe oversimplifying some of it, and some of it's not quite accurate. So, you know, eventually I'll get there. Anyway, I think I'm gonna upload this just as a update. Um, hopefully, it finds you guys well, and I will add whatever next time I have an idea. So, all right, bye bye.